nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
He is the one.
Now, a motion picture so grand.
Then shut the fuck up!
Anybody want to finish?
That's all you had to say.
Bill, strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Run! It's Godzilla!
You shall not pass!
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
This week on the Film Fucks, the Fucks take down John Wick, Part 3. Oh God, spiking already, you animal. Hey guys, this is okay, shut the fuck up. I haven't even introduced you yet. God damn it, I miss Wally. Yeah, so guys, this is Ryan. One half of the Film Fucks for this, or 2/3 of the Film Fucks for this week, plus a special guest. It's really bad. He won't shut. Okay, it's the devil.
Bleh. What up, fuckers? The devil's back.
You haven't been here yet.
That's right, I forgot. I love you, these butt-chugging motherfuckers, so I decided to watch John Wick with them.
Oh, God.
And it was one hell of a time. Get it? Hell, because I'm the devil. Yes, folks, you got nothing but shitty jokes coming your way for the next 5 hours.
The devil did make a previous appearance in a earlier episode.
He did?
Yeah.
I thought we just talked about him.
No, I just possess your friend. Your friend's in hell. We switched places.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is completely different.
Yeah, Carl.
Try to keep the fuck up.
Jesus,
Butt
Carl.
chug.
Come on,
God
Carl.
damn it,
Oh,
butt
God.
chug.
He's possessing me, too. Nope, he's not. I'm just being a dick.
Don't fuck with the devil, man. Sing right here.
I mean, we butt chug. Or Carl, did we ever butt chug? No.
Oh,
just
I'm
Carl.
about to right now,
Butt
this
chug
birthday.
Yeah, he
Fucks
just
the
popped the
devil.
bubbly. Yeah, so guys.
How about this fucking movie, guys?
Jesus Christ.
One hell of a time.
Yeah, one hell of a time. It's John Wick, the dog movie.
He won't die. Yeah, it's the dog movie. I love the dog.
Everybody
so
does, like, that's the whole thing. He literally steals a dog from an
When
animal.
does the dog get a gun? I want to see the dog with a gun.
Yeah, like, I want to go, like, full, like, Austin Powers with the sharks that have lasers on their backs and just give me a dog gun. Yeah, so this is John Wick, Chapter 3,
Yeah, I feel like
Parabellum.
I'm reading a fucking book for grade
Parabellum.
school. The fuck?
Parabellum.
Is that Italian?
Jesus.
Or Latin?
It's,
Yeah, I should
it's
know.
technically Latin, yeah. But I think we use it in a modern context. So I guess we'll do first impressions. So, Carl, what are you thinking?
Whoa.
I loved it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Okay,
you butt chug.
that's all you get. Oh, it's the devil.
It's like my favorite
okay,
video games.
Hold on, time out,
It's
time out.
action-packed.
Shut the fuck up.
It's got dogs.
I said that's your favorite video games. It's action packed and it has
Action-packed
dogs.
with dogs. That's
Okay.
all we get in hell.
Jesus. What
It's got
should
my PS1 graphics.
what should we call you? Is it just devil or is devil your like species? So it's like us. We're humans.
You can call me Lucy.
Lucy.
Lucifer, yeah, Lucy for short. I
Lucy.
appreciate
So
it.
we're at Lucy level now. Like I guess Carl would definitely
we spent
be.
the entire weekend together, buddy.
Yeah, we did.
We're real close.
We went to wine country. It was beautiful. We butt chugged a whole bunch of red wine.
You fuckers are crazy.
I've been vomiting bloody substance.
From
It
his
looks
ass and
no
his mouth, every orifice.
every orifice.
It's one hell of a time.
God damn it. Hey Wally, yeah. Wait, sorry, not Wally.
The fuck you just called me?
Hey Lucy. So
Yeah.
like, what would you say this movie is? Like, is it a heavenly experience?
Fuck
Is it-
no,
is
it's one hell of a time.
Oh God, we now know the devil has an awful catchphrase. Yeah,
I love Keanu Reeves. He's my boy. You know, he's eternal. He's never gonna fucking die. He's a little puffy in this movie, but you know.
Why is he your boy then? Don't you want him in hell with you?
Nah, he's got stuff to do.
Jesus,
Up north.
he's gonna make up north. Oh man, this, you know what? This is turning out to be just as insane as I had ever hoped, and I love it.
I mean, John Wick's real. This is a documentary.
John
right?
Wick is real.
John Wick, true story.
Is he Keanu
Not fake
Reeves?
news. They're one and the same.
So they're one and the same. Okay, so Keanu Reeves is an assassin who just happened to make a crazy ass movie about time travel
Coincidence?
when he was a kid. Coincidence? wait, Lucy. So what you're saying is that the way Keanu Reeves was cast in the movie John Wick is totally circumstantial compared to the fact that they have lived the exact same life.
Yes.
Oh God, that's incredible. That's it. Like you know what? I'm so glad we have. I'm so glad we have somebody.
Behind the scenes, you know?
Jesus. I keep saying Jesus because you're spiking so hard, but
Yeah, I don't appreciate that kind of language.
Okay.
Prefer you shut the fuck up.
You prefer that in the bedroom, don't you?
No, he doesn't like
You know
Jesus.
it, butt chug.
Carl, he doesn't like Jesus at all because he's the devil.
No, but he likes the spiking.
Oh, the spiking. No. Okay. Yeah.
Shut up, butt chug. Chug
Yeah.
away. Chug,
He uses
chug,
his butt.
chug,
He uses
chug.
his butt for one thing and one thing only: chugging.
That's a good boy.
That's a good boy.
Yes.
Sip that bubbly. No. So
This
we're.
movie was fun. Fucking fun.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think there's like
A dude got kicked in the face by a fucking horse.
Multiple dudes.
times.
Multiple dudes got kicked in the
Fuck
face by
yes.
different horses, as if John Wick has trained all the horses of New York to kick in the face on command.
That's my boy. Coincidence? No.
No, wait.
The horses were
Favorite
born to
weapon used? What was your favorite weapon used in this
live. Horse.
Dogs.
Followed by dog.
Eating dick.
movie? Mine's the book.
Yeah. Okay. The
I
book.
didn't appreciate it because it was a Bible.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was not a Bible.
It was definitely a Bible.
No, it wasn't. It was an old book that doesn't make it a Bible. Jesus.
Where
What
was
is
the
this?
pentagram?
What is this? It wasn't a satanic Bible.
That would only make sense. That's the only books that kill.
The only books that kill are satanic Bibles.
Yes.
So the regular Bible, which has killed millions at this point. So what you're saying?
It brings you back to life. It gives you that eternal life garbage.
Zip it. Don't touch your mic. I told you this. I told
Easy,
both of you
Buckshot.
you were on your phone. Move it with this, not with this. Understand, Carl?
So
Gotta
move it
punch
like
Grab
this.
the arm and
Move
move it
it
like this.
Let's
to
do
each
it
other.
together. All right.
Yes. Back and
Back and
forth.
forth.
Back and
Ooh,
forth.
there we go.
Lucy, can you
Work out
please
on
be
those
quiet?
biceps,
Can you please be
yes.
quiet? I have neighbors. I
Ooh.
don't want a noise complaint. I don't want the cops being called. So can you
You're gonna
please
get fucking kicked
can
out,
you
dude.
please just be a little bit quiet?
That's your bed for inviting the devil over, buddy.
Okay, well get out then. I didn't invite you, you kind of just showed up.
As I do.
There we go. That's what I like. That right there. Yeah, do that as much as you want. That's the quietest thing you've done all day. So
Fuck.
yeah, I guess we did first impressions. I guess I don't know what to. So how should we attack this movie?
What's the log line?
What's the
Give us the log line,
what's
Ryan.
the log line? I don't know what the log line is. We don't know because we don't know what he's fighting for anymore.
A man who has lost
ma-
everything continues to fight
A man
for nothing.
A man who has lost everything
Loses
continues
a
to
finger.
fight
Spoilers.
continues to fight for a life of just remembering his wife. Like
That
that
is the plot of
fucking
this film,
matters.
guys.
Yes. He's fighting so hard, and then when he finally gets asked, why do you even nice one, Lucy. The
Gracias.
ooh, Spanish. Wow, just
De
like
nada.
just like Just like in how Keanu Reeves has stuff to do in the north, which you call either Earth or heaven.
There's nothing beneath me. There's only the north.
The south is where you
Winter's
reside,
coming.
and that's Spanish.
No, winter's dead. That show fucking ended.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. That might be in the last bit. But yeah, he when he finally gets asked, why are you fighting so hard? What do you have to get? Like, it makes no sense. And he goes, I need to live so I can remember my wife.
But Ryan, a horse, kicks a man in the face 5 times. Fucking amazing.
And and you see multiple heads explode. There was another pretty gruesome thing early on that I cannot remember.
The book.
The book was all right.
No, it was the
I guess.
knife to the eye.
Oh yeah, the slow motion
And
eye
Uncle
knife.
Knifey's Knife Emporium.
Shut the fuck up.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Jesus. God, this is why I can't talk to Lucy at all. Wally is so good at keeping things under wraps until we start the commercials. We had a whole discussion of what we should do, and Lucy was like, "Oh, we should do this. That'd be so funny." And then, of course, he spoils it in the actual show. Okay, so I don't know. Carl?
What was good about this movie?
Carl, gosh, yeah, what was good?
The action
Gosh.
fights, the sequences.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's
It's literally.
It's an
2 hours.
adrenaline movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well paced, I would say.
I mean,
until
it's-
the plot gets in the way.
Yeah, the plot.
Are you
I'm
mocking
making
me?
fun of you. The plot of
There can
this
only be one
movie.
Lucy
There you go,
on this
Carl.
podcast.
Closer to your face. It's perfect right where it is.
Right by your mouth.
It's
Get
literally.
up in there. Yeah.
This isn't a video medium yet. Save that tongue. Yeah, Carl, you gotta make the noises if we're gonna do the.
That's fucking disgusting.
We have lost every single one of our subscribers.
But guys, at least we're having one hell of a time.
I hate you so much, Lucifer. Lucifer, I don't want you back on this podcast
It's
ever.
Lucy.
No, it's not. It's Lucifer. Lucy is what your friends call you. I'm saying definitively,
Ryan, we're friends.
we aren't
We're
friends
getting to
anymore.
know each other.
Not after
we
this.
will, Ryan.
Not after
We
this.
will.
I'm sorry, Lucy. Not after this.
You're my butt chugging hombre. Don't you forget that.
What was that?
You're
You're
my-
my butt. I never butt. Oh yeah, we butt chugged wine together.
Forget.
Oh yeah, guys, we have sound effects now. It's pretty great.
So yeah, the action is a big part of this. I
It's-
noticed there's a lot of references to other kung fu movies, which is our favorite pastime in hell, is to watch
Kung
Bruce
fu.
Lee and all his kung foolery, as you will.
Kung foolery. So yeah, list off. Why don't you throw out some references
At
that
the
you
end,
saw?
you have him scaling up different levels, kind of like Game of Death with Bruce Lee. You have him going through a room of mirrors, and it's kind of an optical illusion, just like Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. And they also have actors from the Raid series. So yeah, there's a love for action movies all over this place.
Okay, I don't want to understand the whole Hall of Mirrors sort of thing because they weren't fucking mirrors. Why was it such a like he kept getting confused, and then all of a sudden everybody got superpowers? They could
Then my
literally
boy,
teleport.
Keanu Reeves became Batman.
Yeah, they could just teleport at will. What? Jesus, Lucy.
Lucy's a bit gassy after then fire nachos.
Lucy drank like a full gallon of Coke Orange Vanilla.
Yeah, I watered it down with some Fireball.
And you know what? You're having one hell of a time.
That's my catchphrase, buddy. I will sue the pants off of you.
Okay. That's kind of what our whole dynamic is, right? Like we're gonna fuck after this.
no,
You
you're not
know
gonna
it,
fuck.
buddy.
You're gonna have one hell of a time.
Fuck him.
Shut the fuck up, butt chug.
He'll sue the pants off of you too. I can't
I want
not
those
imitate.
pants.
I don't want anything else. I'm not asking for monetary compensation. I just want your pants, Carl.
Okay, how was the acting
Sold.
in this movie?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Absolutely. It was terrible.
Why?
It just was stale. Like we mentioned, well, Ryan's a little gassy too. We just mentioned I don't care about John Wick anymore. He doesn't.
I like that he's become a celebrity in his own world. Like all the assassins are like, "This is fucking awesome." Before you fucking kill me, could you sign this for my kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, I'm gonna try and kill you, but I'm gonna like give you every advantage in the world, even though the only thing I know about you as being like the celebrity assassin of this world apparently is that you are undefeatable. I'm gonna give you every chance. I'm gonna help you up when we first own you.
You're only talking about one fight. Everybody else was trying to kill him.
That was the main thing. Yeah. It's just like the other two movies. Everybody else is just trying to kill him. In this movie, the one interesting part of the fights is that for once you have people who are like actually acknowledging.
In the first movie, he's a one-man army just going against the world, and they just have to try to kill them as consequence for him trying to kill them first. So he's a one-man army in the first one. In this one, everyone's trying to fucking kill him. And he falls over so many fucking times. I mean,
it doesn't make sense logically. This guy's supposed to be the best in the world, and at the end of each fight he shows it, but then at the very beginning of each fight he gets his ass handed to him multiple times and should have been killed. Like, he was just getting punched and punched and punched through glass walls.
Building, it was just like my other boy Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
where he really fucked up his back.
You know, that's weird that you reference that, because that's like Wally's favorite superhero movie. Like,
what?
Do you know that?
Who is this man?
You know Wally.
Oh yeah, that fucker's in hell.
Yeah, he's
everyone you know.
Everyone you know. Carl, so yeah, how do you feel about the acting in this? I don't like the acting in this.
I like the actors.
Yeah.
But like you guys talk about, the story could be a little better. Like, the actors are good. Really, the story is what perfect, needs to be better.
Because Carl, you love this movie.
I do love it, but I love the fast-paced action.
What kind of story do you want out of this? Like, if you're saying that I wish the story was a little better, so like, describe your perfect story, or describe what you wanted to see. See, this is a tough one. You might have to think about this.
I am gonna have to think about this because it was more of a set-up movie for the next one than anything else.
Yeah.
And setup movies, the story is a little usually stale or lacking because it's setting up
in this movie. He's just angrier by the end, and he was already pretty pissed off to begin with. Thank you.
Wow, that was an incredible speech, Carl, and kind of Lucy.
Thank you.
We forgot to call Grant too. That was one thing we said we were going to do.
Our other boy.
Yeah, our other boy. Grant it's not. I can't do it at this point. We're already too far in. Maybe we'll call him after the break.
Yes.
But no, So it's a setup movie. What were the last two? I've only seen the first one, which was a good complete like story.
Yeah,
was the second one a good complete story?
No, it leads right into this.
So
it's another setup movie.
So why are we just? No, we shouldn't. You should never have two setup movies back to back. That's insane.
I feel with this fourth one, if there is going to be a fourth one, it's supposed to be the final one. Maybe it's kind of what they make it seem like.
There is so much stuff, though. Like, there's so much stuff from the first two movies that haven't been resolved, that weren't resolved in this movie.
Yeah.
And then they added 15 other different things.
Hey, the dog didn't die this time.
Oh, yeah. The dog didn't die last time either.
No, it did.
No, it didn't.
He stole that dog at the end of the movie.
At the end of the first movie. So
at the end of the second movie.
Wait, so he has the same dog, the same type of... He stole that dog at the end of the first movie.
He stole it twice.
No, at least that type.
He stole another dog.
That looks exactly like the one from the first movie?
No.
You're not
this is
remembering
different
this,
one.
Carl. No, it's not.
It's been a while since I've seen the second
He
one.
gets a beagle. That beagle dies at the end of the first movie. I just watched this like 2 days ago. He goes into an adoption or like a pet rescue place, and he steals this pit bull, this silver pit bull. So I don't think the dog dies in the second movie.
No, he doesn't. And while we're still on the
Thank
good
God,
stuff,
we have
it
the
sounds
devil.
we're kind of leading into the bad. Keanu Reeves does have a really good presence in this movie.
Yeah.
I think he's
That
very
ass.
charming.
Okay, this is the weirdest thing, but he gets up one time after defeating those two guys and starts walking up the stairs. Dude's got a tight ass. Yeah, Lucy knows what's up. I knew he would probably notice that too. Yeah,
effects, they're pretty cool. They didn't look that shitty.
Yeah, they were. There wasn't an that's the one. So we saw Brightburn. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
We saw me and Wally, not Lucy.
Yeah.
Saw
You didn't
Brightburn
invite
last
me.
night. Well, yeah,
Still
I did.
butthurt
You
about
weren't there yet. You hadn't ascended from the pit that you formed in the back of my apartment yet. Yeah. So we saw that last night, and there's a distinct difference between that movie and this movie in that movie really lingered on every single violent action. This movie glances over it so quickly that the CGI blood in this movie doesn't really matter. Whereas I don't think there was. I think it was mostly practical blood in the Brightburn movie. I mean, it was like there wasn't a ton of blood. Even it was just like it was bloody. Like obviously well, you wouldn't know. So stop. Lucy keeps trying to amp up to say
save
something.
me. I'm stuck in hell. Also, I heard Ryan talking about Brightburn. Yeah, there was like practical blood effects dripping out people's faces and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think when blood squirting out, that's
Well, and
all
when the
CG.
guys
that was real.
Yeah, that was real. It looked pretty good.
Okay, I'll
But
talk to you guys later.
okay,
Everyone,
is
a
a
heck
flo-
of a time.
is a
down
flower
here.
crawling up?
Oh,
Is a flower crawling up your urethra?
save me.
Okay, I guess that's a yes. Okay. God. No, but yeah, I think that blood almost and it kind of felt like a video game. It wasn't really necessary. Like this felt very much like an 80s movie. It felt like an 80s or 90s video game where we could. I mean, the only reason they added blood
Felt like I was playing Uncharted.
Yeah. The only reason I think they added blood was because once you got the fully armored people, you didn't know whether a shot would automatically kill someone.
I mean, people come to see these movies for the action, and we're still talking about the good stuff. There is a good story that's just shown through the action, and it does feel like a progression of a video game. By the end, you had these bulletproof, people that they're shooting at, and that hasn't been done in the other movies before. So that was cool to see that be okay, now we're up against something worse than before. We're actually having an actual progression of enemies here.
Yeah. And why it would take 2 movies to do that instead of just one is kind of why I'm a little butthurt. Why did we need the second one if now we're finally getting into this whole above, below, over, high table, low table,
under the table.
Yeah, the rub and tugs.
I feel the second and this third one kind of go hand in hand. You could see that as a 4-hour movie altogether.
Or you could just edit it properly and get it down to 2 hours and be okay.
That's not going to sell as many tickets.
Oh no.
It's all about the
Let's
money,
sacrifice quality for quantity. Okay, Carl. So, what complaints would you have with this movie?
No more good stuff.
Didn't we skip over the good stuff? We did the good stuff. We talk about the fight scenes.
There's other good stuff. It's shot really well. And
yes,
it is nice
I do
to
agree
see
that.
something that feels really practical. I mean, we did see Avengers down in hell, as it should be shown in hell. And that's fun, but it's a different kind of action. It's all, you feel like you're running around in a cartoon world, and then this does feel more real, even though he's still a Superman.
Yeah, it's just like it's green balls just hitting into each other is basically what Avengers Endgame was.
So many balls.
So many green balls just like pop,
Not
pop.
purple.
No, Carl. That actually doesn't work. Like I love the joke. I love that you're thinking about. I love how you're thinking about Thanos' testicles. It doesn't work for the production.
You got a clap from the devil.
You got a clap from the devil, and then you also got clap. We're kind of telling you to go to the doctor because you probably have the clap.
Poor butt chug.
Poor butt chug. No, yeah, I Jason Mantzoukas too. Like,
yes.
I don't know. Like, I wish
he was the main character.
I just wish he like did or said more. He was like very weird and had such a good character. Like the very small part where he talked, it was so intriguing because it's this homeless
look
man.
At him, he's not gonna be fighting anybody.
No, he doesn't necessarily like. He could be like I wanted him to be who Lawrence Fishburne was. Like he's the dude who's just like sitting on a curb with a sick ass solid gold Rolex, spouting nonsense, and then all of a sudden goes, John Wick, you only got like 20 minutes, man. Hurry the fuck
up. Come on, Chop.
Come on, Johnny.
We got 20 seconds till the next 5 movies.
20 seconds. Yeah, every new movie is going to be 6 seconds long. Like it's gonna be super slow.
Be like 2 hours.
It's super slow. Yeah.
Takes place within 10
and it
seconds.
turns out that it's actually everything that's happening is in the Matrix, and that's why you can slow down. Like he goes into bullet time.
Finally,
basically.
We get good Matrix scenes.
Everybody's in bullet time, fighting each other. So it looks like it's actually 2.5 hours. We kind of
got bullet time in this. They shot bullets underwater.
Oh yeah,
that's beautiful.
Comparable, yeah. It was the perfect metaphor for shooting blanks during sex. Yes. Erectile dysfunction. Another way it relates to Brightburn is the inability to conceive.
Yeah.
You don't remember that, do you?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm still in hell, you guys. But Ryan, I'm listening to the podcast from hell. I totally agree. Okay, bye.
Okay. God, this is brutal. I miss Wally. I miss Wally so much. Like Wally's so lighthearted. The devil literally just goes.
It's okay. I mean, I made a deal with the devil to give him my pants at the end of this episode. That's why Wally's only coming back for like the 30 seconds.
See, that's the thing though, Carl. The contract you sign, it doesn't just say the pants. It says whatever was in the pants. He's gonna suck your dick.
Hey, at least I know I'm getting some tonight.
Oh man, you're getting a pineapple up your ass.
I've had worse.
That's a deep cut. That's my favorite film.
That's your favorite film, Devil?
That's the greatest film of all time.
We should, okay, then we need to have you back for a rewind episode of that film.
Oh, hell yes.
Hey, Lucy, so, like, what is that?
One hell of a time.
God damn it.
That's what it's called.
One hell of a time.
It's with my dearest boy, Adam Sandler, and a little Nicky. He kind of sounds like me right now.
Who?
Adam Sandler in that movie.
I don't think you know how you sound.
Sounds just like me.
Just like Adam Sandler.
Another great film of Adam Sandler.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you guys want to go from here? I just can bitch about this movie for a while.
I actually want to know what your problems are.
Well, it's literally just like a movie. Like they realized that part of the like pull for the first movie was a dog, the fact that the dog got killed, and so now that is it. Are
you saying it's just a joke?
I'm just saying no. I'm just saying that now they're just making everything dog related. Right? They're like I'm not gonna be surprised if all of a sudden we learn that everybody who is part of like the table also has their own dogs, and then Halle Berry comes back in the fourth and fifth movie, and
I could see it going.
It's literally just they have a dog fight. That's it. It's like, oh, you killed his dog or you stole his car, and it's like, no, you didn't just steal his car, you killed his puppy. And all of a sudden, like everybody is obsessed with dogs in this movie, and it doesn't make fucking sense. Like,
So you're expecting like a dog war then?
That's what it seems like they're ramping up to. It's like they're introducing more characters that have dog sidekicks.
Whoa.
I can't wait for there to be like.
Whoa, Ryan.
Stuff. They're biting people in the dick.
Ryan.
Yeah, that's all they do. Bite
Ryan.
people in the dick, chest, and arm. Yes, Carl.
What if
Do you want a gun-toting
the
dog?
one
Yes,
the one
I do.
assassin that John Wick fought?
He's a cat person.
Yes.
He's there.
What if it ends up being a dog-cat war?
Oh my god.
Instead,
So
it's like a nod.
This is a prequel
Like, yeah.
to my second favorite film, Cats and Dogs.
cats. Is it cats and dogs or cats versus dogs?
I think it's
believe
cats and dogs.
And dogs? Okay, I thought it was cats versus dogs. But no, that's horrible. And everybody
Yes.
they, like
So deliciously terrible.
oh god. I hate you, Lucy. Thank you. That's my way of saying I love you.
Shut up.
What? Why did you tell yourself to shut up?
There's many voices in my head. They won't leave me alone.
Maybe it's all the people you are like damning down in hell.
No, I can't.
Or maybe
do
it's
that.
just Wally just shouting, "Let me out."
Oh,
The
guys, I'm sounding more like Morty. Could
Wally?
you guys like wrap up this shitty review? I really don't want to be in hell anymore.
No.
Please.
Were you able to see the movie through Lucifer's eyes or no?
Yeah, I loved it. Best movie of the year, better than Detective Pikachu. I give 20 fucks about this movie.
You know what? Bring Lucy back. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want Wally on the podcast anymore. He clearly is he has horrible taste. I mean, I don't know how the devil's gonna say. Like, I don't know how he likes this movie, but yeah.
I like it more than you think, but less than you would hope for.
Less than Wally? 20 fucks? He gives
a little less than that.
That is 20
Let's do the math here.
God, think of how many that's 4 times
That
20.
is
80 hand jobs.
Yes.
That is 40
He
blow
really
jobs.
likes the movie.
He really
That's
likes
why
this
he's
movie.
In hell.
Yeah, okay. No, I get, yeah, so I would say, yeah, I hate the fact that now it's becoming like a dog-centric movie. Like, it's
I think
not.
you're reading into it a bit much.
No, I'm not. They're bringing up new characters. They constantly are talking about puppies.
I like that. That's a theme here.
I don't. It's totally random. Carl?
It fits this universe.
only,
they use the dogs
only
to
two
good.
characters really have dogs. I
No,
mean,
but
everybody
it
else
is a
just
constant
references
dialogue.
the joke of the reason that John Wick is like this is because his dog died in the first one.
So you think it's a joke whenever they say that?
I think it's a
That's
joke and a
fucked
nod.
up, man.
That's fucked up, Carl. You've never had the warmth of a pupper on your face, clearly. You may have rubbed and tugged my dog when we were watching. What movie were we watching?
Rugrats.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Rugrats. You
I
just
mean, you
would
guys
not.
were watching.
He was in heaven. Like he was just so happy to be pet. But Carl, you were pet. You were like sprawled out on the couch. You looked like the ancient like Greek people on their sofas.
Biggest dickus.
And then you just biggeth dicketh. Why
I
are you
have to
laughing?
live vicarious through other people's dogs because where I live,
You have to be
I'm
bi.
not I have to live.
You have to be bi
Hey
species.
guys, I heard that from hell. That was fucking hilarious, Carl. Okay, bye.
Carl came out as bi-specially curious. Oh my god. You know what? On that, guys, we're going to take a short break. All right, guys, we're back for another ad. I know it's been a while, but we actually have some pretty cool people in the studio right now. We have a local proprietor of this really cool antique store and his son.
It's me.
So let's introduce Uncle Knifey and AKJ Uncle Knifey Jr.
Yeah. Tell him, Daddy.
Well, I'm Uncle Knifey.
Okay.
That's my dad.
Yeah. So what are you selling right now? Like why did you want to come on the podcast? Why
Spoons. Just kidding. Take it away, Dad.
Jesus Christ.
I wanted to come on the podcast because I sell a lot of knives, and recently my store was broken into. And when I walked in there, I was like, holy shit. This is a lot of bodies on the floor, and all my knives are in these people. Except for one. The one that I keep in my pants.
Okay, well, besides the one you keep in your pants, which has never been unsheathed, what?
Oh,
what,
snap, Dan.
What?
How was I born then?
Oh, shit, you were adopted. I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
AKJ, I'm so sorry to tell you this. I don't know.
I'm crying.
Part
My
of
life's a lie.
Part of why your dad wanted to be on the podcast was for
You
us.
found me in that spaceship, didn't you?
Yes. Oh my
I
god.
bright burn.
Oh my
I
god.
probed
AKJ
it.
is
I
AKJ is
probed it
floating
for
right
ya.
now. He probed your butt. It's
Gross.
Okay.
I'm running away.
Okay, let's get back on track. We've gone off the rails already. But so you're saying people broke in and used your knives for murder. Like, I guess for a knife store, isn't that a good thing? Isn't that like a testament to the quality of your knives? Like, it's like, hey,
That sounds good for business day.
these knives are so great that they could. I mean, obviously you probably just have your knives out on display. It's not like they're like locked away or anything. Because I mean, how would they get
And
to
I'm
them?
your other son, Knifey Kyle. I'm actually your son.
Knifey Kyle. So your dick has been unsheathed, unless you've like jerked off into a condom and then gave it to a woman.
I believe that's how my dad described it.
That's what you're. Okay, Knifey. What was it? Knifey Carl?
Knifey Kyle.
Knifey Kyle. Sorry, I
KK,
misheard.
man.
KK. We should probably call child protect. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16. Okay, and AKJ, how old are you?
I'm 6.
Oh, so it seems like we might. You know what? We're gonna call somebody up because
But Dad, they didn't steal everything. What did they leave at the store?
What? Wait. So they came in. They didn't steal them though. Like they left them there just in bodies. Like this sounds like a pretty good marketing opportunity. Why
Yeah,
not
they didn't
just
steal anything.
grab those bodies, throw them up on the wall with the knives in them, and be like, you know,
Look,
this
they
is
actually work.
Look, yeah, this is how sharp. Like you've seen those demos where like a guy comes out with a knife and he cuts a piece of paper. He's like,
It
look at how
cuts
sharp
like
it
a
is.
penny in half.
Cuts-
It's
yeah, like
bullshit.
what the hell? That's not real. I want to see what these things look like in bodies.
Just sticks a man, yeah, cuts him like a pig.
Yeah, but so after that, so you do have knives still. They're just in bodies. Like
Yes, I have to sterilize them.
you have to sterilize them. Okay, is that like a code or something?
Possibly.
Okay, so what else do you have there? So we got knives, which we already know, like they're perfect. We already know they work perfect. They just need to be sanitized a little bit. Maybe AKJ can help out with that. Like he seems like a hyper little kid who might. Ugh. Did you get possessed for a second, AKJ?
I think I did. Oh God.
Oh my God.
My life is crazy right now.
Okay, try not
So much
try not
pressure.
to talk. You were rock
Yeah, okay,
hard.
little brother, take it easy. Okay, here's your Legos. Go play with your Legos.
Okay.
Yeah, our Legos weren't stolen. Also, our ancient Greek pottery, ancient Greek paper mache wasn't stolen.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, so Kyle,
and the
I know.
spoons,
or
and
K.
by
Kyle.
that we mean ancient Greek plates where it's two guys spooning or fucking. So that's what they called spoons back in the day. That's where spoons come from.
That is fascinating ancient
That's real.
Greek knowledge. Wow, fun fact during this commercial, guys. Ancient Greek spoons were actually plates with images of two men spooning. Wow, God, this has been informative.
No, I figured, our shop's very educational. They'll learn a lot about organs and bodies with these dead bodies now. You know that science exhibit where they have like the dead bodies or whatever? This is 10 times better than that.
Wow,
All right?
10 times
you
better.
get ancient Greek stuff too. You get a mix of both worlds.
Both worlds, death and ancient Greek pottery and paper mache. Okay, so like if you guys had to like sum up your business in like one sentence or even one word, let's do one sentence.
I know what they would say. They would say it's one hell of a time.
Oh fuck. God damn it. This guy. Okay, we're gonna have to let you go. Stop by. Okay, do you know what's your address? Where's Uncle Knifey's Knife Emporium?
666.
Fuck, get out of here, Lucy. God damn it.
I think we may have to strike a business deal here. Like,
keep it under
the
table.
Yeah,
God.
for sure.
Sorry, guys, I can't be a part of this.
I have thought about expanding my business, so I mean,
you won't be disappointed.
Well, this looks like a match made in heaven. The literal devil possessing your young child and a knife salesman. Like, what could be better? And you have a ton of dead bodies already. I mean, this is incredible. You know, I'm so glad that this podcast could, you know, do so much for local business.
You know, when I was looking at those bodies, I was actually starting to pull knives out, and I decided to leave one knife in because if you just touched it, the leg twitched.
Ooh. So it is like a little experiment. Okay, so guys, let's
bring
let's
the
all
whole family.
Bring the whole family to 666. What was that? Hell Lane, Devil's Lane.
One hell of a time avenue.
Support local business. Go down to Uncle Knifey's Uncle Knifey's Knife Emporium today. /
Say
like
my little
hell.
brother, he's been possessed by the devil.
Okay, guys, now we're gonna talk about what the fuck moments.
Hey guys, I kicked that devil's ass and he's back in hell and I'm back, fuckers. All right.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
Wally's
no
back.
more devil.
Finally.
Fuck that guy.
Nah, he was. I kind of liked him better.
He might come back.
Wally,
you know.
after hearing your review of John Wick, like I kind of like the devil better.
I have different thoughts on that now.
Wait, so what you're saying is hell warped your mind?
Yes, it is not. I do not give 20 fucks about that movie. That's hell's presence. On
So
me.
just being in hell warped your mentality of what good and evil is.
That's not even like. Yeah, that's not part of our rating, you know. I stick to the script, dude.
Like we said, I mean that is like what 80 blowjobs or 80 hand jobs and 40 blowjobs. Like that's
Hell,
huge.
dude, it's just one heck of a time.
Yeah. What? Wait, that was weird.
Yeah,
What
he
was
said
that?
he kept it clean. He said one heck of a time.
Yeah, what?
Because
What
you know
else
the
would I
devil
say?
has
Yeah,
the
I don't know
what I
copyright
say.
on.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, the devil has the copyright on one. You know,
One what?
of a time.
One
What?
hell of a time, bitches.
One.
Okay,
God
bye.
damn it,
Yeah,
he's
see?
back.
There we go.
He's back, bitches. Okay, so yeah, so we'll go into what the fuck moments. So Carl, Wally, we'll start with you. We always start with Carl because I feel bad, but he's been talking a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes where like you just kind of that action, like this goes with the good. It's just so visceral. You really do feel like every punch, especially like in the beginning, like within the first 10 minutes, I'm locked into this with like all the actions and definitely like the what the fuck moments are just like the intensity of some of those impacts. Like the biggest what the fuck moment is like when you just see a horse like just kick a dude in the face like that. Just freaked me out for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the animal usage in this movie, just between the
It
dogs,
was done so well. Those dogs were so well trained.
they were so well trained. They also,
They love.
I mean,
yeah.
it was pretty
certain
apparent
area.
when they only attacked 3 different spots, and then they would always do like the pull mode. Like it's clear you can only
Yeah.
train a dog to be that. Like it was clear they were police dogs or something like that, where they were like trained
Right, like they
to
couldn't go
attack.
for the
Like
face or
yeah,
anything
like there
that.
isn't a lot of like diversity in like their attack strategies because they're dogs. But I mean, the horses kicked right in the face. It was so great. Like definitely was
God, I
not
forget.
CGI. Like no
No.
way. That horse totally practical.
That man died for John Wick 3.
Yeah.
Parabellum.
Yeah.
Parabellum.
Parabellum. Yeah. So I would say the animals are definitely my what the fuck moment too. Carl.
Yeah, all the different ways that John Wick killed people, like
What was
horses,
your favorite
dogs,
death?
Yeah.
Top 3
the
deaths.
book.
He said he liked the book.
Yeah.
The book is definitely
book-
one of them.
He
Yeah.
threw the book
Uh,
at him.
The knives, just throwing those at all
That
the
was
people.
like so absurd.
Yeah, those scenes
Yeah.
like that
I was like,
reminded
holy
me
shit!
more of
Really,
the, like,
5
kinda-
knives in one guy?
If you guys have seen the Raid Redemption movies, it had that kind of action to it where it's like it's a little comic booky where they're like using their environment to their advantage. Like later on, it's like they'll have just one weapon and they're just kind of throwing each other against stuff. They're not really using the environment. So it was nice to see like those kind of fights.
And
Yeah.
at the beginning.
the other one is the swords on motorcycles. You know,
Oh,
That
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I would say that it was that.
That turned out way better than I thought that was going to be. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, this could be really bad. Like
It could be
really
Dark Knight
blurry.
bad.
Yeah,
like,
I did get Dark Knight vibes.
Yeah,
from
because they have that stupid motorcycle scene, which was like so lackluster. But this like, and you knew it was Keanu Reeves actually doing the stunts. Like that's half of the fun of these movies is knowing the fact that he's so in. It's
this
kind of the
like
same.
Really commits. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just the exact same as like I said, I said a little bit earlier to these guys is that Tom Cruise. Like I really want to see a movie where, like in one of the later John Wicks, it's like Keanu Reeves versus Tom Cruise, two people we know like love to do their own practical stunts, love to like put in all this work to make it incredible. Like Tom Cruise flipped the fucking helicopter, which is like something he had to take like months of training to do. Like he's dedicated.
I guess that's something they need to add to these movies is like James Bond. Like
I was just about to bring him up too.
Had Sean Bean in one where like he's a 006 or whatever.
Yeah.
So like he's like they're neck and neck, like just as good. They need like an equal to John Wick, and they haven't really introduced that kind of character.
Yeah, they
in this movie.
they
I
do.
think they tried in
Jesus
this one,
Christ.
but he just sucked.
Well, yeah, but he was also a villain. Like I think it'd be cool.
He's a he's a fanboy.
Yeah.
But he's also like trying to kill him. Like I think it would be cool if like I don't know, like
it's his brother, Jimmy
or it's like
Wick.
not like a sidekick,
I
but
mean,
just like a
the second
competitor.
one also had
but
someone on like a John Wick-esque level almost with her
well,
bodyguard,
they have
you know.
to. They kind of have to because it's like how else? Like how we already know he can kick anybody's ass.
Yeah.
You need to give him something where it's like, okay, here's the final boss. You know he's still gonna win, but you need to.
I wouldn't say there's like a character that feels like his equal.
That's why I said
every way, though.
almost.
Yeah.
Do you guys think they're going to bring in like some sort of mystical thing into the
I
next
sure
series?
as hell hope not. I sure as
Yeah.
hell hope not.
They've
Like
done
I
a
love
really
the
job
realism
steering
of
away
Yes.
from that. Yeah.
But
the only thing like
but the
there is
guys
a
that are
mystery
like
behind
disappearing and stuff and then reappearing. Like it seemed like it was cool, but then like because it was almost believable when they went to like the ballet studio when they were just popping out of corners and stuff like that, where like they could hide in plain sight. But then it's literally a room of mirror or room of glass where it would actually be impossible to do that, and they were still be able to do that. That's where it felt like kind of mystical, where it was like this. It's not just like
you could see it as that. I think like it's supposed to be more. He's just getting the upper hand, like he's getting smarter, and the way you kind of show that, you use kind of movie magic where like he's kind of like Batman using the environment to his advantage. Like that's still like I still feel that's like within the realms of like possibility still. Like it's a bit of a stretch, but I wouldn't say it's like at a mythical quality.
The guy he was like following the guy, and then the guy goes into a divider that is like this big and then disappears. Like there's something like it's even if you were saying it's just like this hyper level of skill, it's something that isn't realistic, isn't in the real world at all. So like it's got to be like if they're going to like stick around and just say no, this is just like reality, that means they're living in a world in which there is something, there's some sort of like
up to
power.
this point they kind of made it seem like John Wick is just that good.
But
That's
he's not that good to like he's never like doing those disappearing acts until the end of this last thing.
If that's the only thing that they keep doing, I could live with it.
Yeah. I feel like
so many action movies do that though, where like someone moves impossibly fast, and it has nothing to do with the fact it's a supernatural presence.
No, but it's also
supposed to give you that like kind of effect that it's a supernatural presence without it actually being supernatural.
Earlier in the movie, they made it look like it was a practical thing. Like there was a dude who had like had an outfit that looked like the wall, and then he like dropped down, and you could tell, oh no, the person was there, I just didn't see him, and then he pops out. So it's like they're trying to establish that there is this level of like disappearing in plain sight sort of thing, but that's not what that is. Like it seems like there's it seems like what they were trying to establish earlier in the film isn't the same thing as what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So like there has to be, and I know movies do that, yes, and most of the time it's not movies that do that, or it's like one-time movies, or it's something where it's just like it's supposed to just be like, oh, they're a superhero level, but I
liked in the first one that John Wick is like this mythic creature, like he's almost like a Bigfoot in
he's
that
a
way.
unicorn.
He's a unicorn.
He's a
able to kill
boogeyman.
everything. And
He's a
at
what?
this point,
Boogeyman?
Boogeyman.
Yeah, he's Baba Yaga, which is a woman who flies around in a mortar and pestle.
Really?
Yeah, Baba Yaga, and she lives in like a house in a swamp that has like chicken legs. Yeah.
No fucking.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. Like she flies around. Do you know what a mortar and pestle is?
No.
It's like the things that they like crush medicine and stuff in. It's like that.
Oh,
the,
okay. The bowl and the crusher.
Yeah, that's a mortar and pestle, and she flies around in one. Like she's a wacky
Does
character.
that stand for boogeyman though?
Baba Yaga. I don't know. I just know her. The character of Baba Yaga is like a evil witch who. Yeah, I think it's Russian folklore is where she comes from. But yeah, it's kind of funny that's like now boogeyman.
Yeah.
But weird fun facts. No, but what are we going to do now?
Ratings.
Let's rate this fucker.
Let's rate there. Okay, I guess we're dropping right into ratings. This might be a short interview or short podcast. So I don't know who to start with.
I feel
we'll start with you.
Yeah, let's start.
Fuck.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
That's a good. You know,
because it sounds like you're really hard on this movie, but I think you like it more than you're letting
I'm
on.
gonna give it straight 3. Like I give a fuck about this movie. I think that middle of the road, basic. Like I will probably see the next movie. I didn't love this movie and not like obsessed with the franchise. I probably won't go back and watch the second one. I watched the first one just to kind of get a taste for it before going into this one.
The first one is the best.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the scenes that they shot in here, like the last scene with the raid by the table people.
Yeah.
They tried to make it feel like the scene in the first movie where it's the nightclub.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seemed like they lowered the lights. They had the music that seemed to like set a tone for it, but this time it was a ballet sort of like
I felt
dance thing.
That ballet music. I think that was another reference to another like. It's more of a revenge film called Old Boy. It's like this Korean film
How the fuck do you watch all these movies?
College showed me a lot of weird action movies.
God, that's weird.
And I think this movie definitely has a lot of homages to a lot of different revenge films and action films, and I applaud it for that. I feel they do their homework in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, huge John. No, so I'll say I give a fuck about this movie. 3 out of 5. I think it's very basic. Like I said, I think there's a lot of problems with it, but I'm kind of interested to see what kind of the way they wrap up the franchise. I want to know what this table is. I want to know how many levels there are.
You're a big
above
world
him.
building guy.
Yeah.
So.
I like building worlds and destroying them. So, I mean, this movie's perfect for me. But, that's I'd say 3 out of 5 is kind of my perfect range for this. Wally.
I'm going to follow suit with that. I do feel like action scenes alone, I do love the action scenes. Like, the first, 15 minutes of this movie, I'm like, okay, this is wonderful. This is action-packed. I'm really, locked in. I'm, reacting to the action, which doesn't really happen in a lot of modern action movies for me. So the first 15 minutes loved it, and then it started to kind of bog down with the plot. There's just too much going on. I think it bites off more than it can chew. It makes it seem like it's this bigger, greater thing when it really kind of comes to nothing by the end of this. So it's setting up more stuff So, like, with all that together, I'm also going to go with I give a fuck about this movie. So, giving it 3 out of 5.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely you're not wasting your money seeing this movie. Like, there's parts where it's like, it does kind of drag on, but, like, action scenes alone, like, if you love action movies, you've already seen this, and, yeah.
And just be aware, like, the reason I like this movie a lot is because it is practical effects, but I did notice that, like, they're just doing a lot of the same moves and like
it does,
basic
like the last few fights. I was like, okay, you've shown me all. I've shown your whole hand. I can see what you're gonna do.
I've seen the takedown where you grab the arm and then flip them over your side. Like I saw that in the first movie. Yeah, I saw that in the first movie, and I've seen it 10 times in this movie. That's my biggest gripe. But if that's what it takes to have a movie with really good practical effects, because this is actually how people fight. Like you have a toolbox of like 4 or 5 basic moves that like is the majority of what you're using.
Yeah,
you know,
rock,
I
paper,
understand that. Like that's just logic. Like that's what a proper assassin would do. It's not like a movie necessarily. So sometimes you get those things where it's like, I just watched this thing. Are they just reusing the same throws? But yeah, sorry, interjecting. So Carl.
I give a fuck about this movie. And a blowjob.
Nice. A blowjob, 3.
So 3.5.
Wow. I thought you were going to go higher, to be honest.
I thought about it, and I'm just like, if the story was a little better, then I would have.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, it's like you guys have been pointing out this whole time, a basic action movie with good actors, just not a great story.
The action itself is not basic. Like they pull like every tool they can. Like they use dogs to like really good and like realistic effectiveness. I think it's the story that kind of bogs everything down. Really.
Yeah, I think he meant well. At least when I say basic action movie, I think that's like a very meat and potatoes, really well done. Like the dog stuff. Like they did use dog stuff. They did use like
knives,
there are moments of there are.
I forgot about
that.
Was
cool.
That was really sweet.
There are moments of like exceptional quality, like fight moves and stuff, but really, there are a lot of action movies that also have those interesting, unique things. But then they I would say Kingsman had like at least the first one, because I haven't seen the second one yet. They have like 3 interesting
that one has a little bit more
stuff.
Fun with the world than this does. Maybe.
Yeah, and it does like story wise, like it falls into the fact that like it's not going to be able to explain it in one movie, and so like it can kind of be a little bit more humorous about it or interesting.
And I mean, there's stuff like women who have like swords for legs.
Yeah,
so, like,
and that's like a big set piece. At least set piece fight is that. Another one is the church scene where it's like this really cool, like it's just a continuous shot going around and fighting and stuff like that. And then
I would say that since we're just talking about that really quick, that has fewer action scenes, but like I think the fact that it has fewer action scenes and they're so well shot, like you just think of those so much more, and it kind of elevates the whole film.
But there are smaller action sequences in there that are just like not nearly as memorable. And I think this movie is like Kingsman. It's like it is like those 2 or 3 big things that you really like. Whereas this, it's kind of the whole movie. There are like also those set pieces, but unlike Kingsman, which kind of it falls a little short in just like the general actiony feel of it. This movie definitely doesn't. It seems like every fight was thought out, and yes, there are the big set piece fights. But every single fight that John Wick gets into in this movie is well done. It's well executed. It's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you aren't recalling it as much, but you will if somebody says something like the belt. You just imagine that whole fight sequence with the 2 guys, which was kind of like it was like a mini boss. It wasn't necessarily that final fight with the big villain. And so like you in Kingsman, you wouldn't remember that. But in this,
watching this, it's so weird that we haven't quite nailed a video game movie where I feel this is like a perfect video game movie.
It's pretty good, but that's...
I feel like you get kind of a Call of Duty sense, like with the dogs.
Yeah.
Because I think there is like one game where you
you have dogs. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of the perks.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree. I think it's weird that we haven't nailed down a movie. I think Pokemon Detective Pikachu is like the best of that, which isn't saying much, but
the story, like, it's easy to follow in that, and like everything else is so crazy, but it feels lived in. It feels very like Star Wars-esque.
Yeah.
And like, it just kind of works for that. But
so
I know they're gonna make, or they've been making an Uncharted movie. So if they just nail the story down and have action like this, like that could be something.
But that's the thing. Do you want the story of just the first game, or do you want a standalone? Like that's kind of the like weird conflict I'm having internally about video game movies in general. Do we just want the video game but in movie form, or do we want almost like do we want somebody to take like a really good war movie, or really good like do we want an Indiana Jones-esque movie where it's like a unique property and then just plaster on the fact that Uncharted, just plaster everything in Uncharted stuff? Is that what makes a good video game movie, is to make a good movie first and then just plaster on the video game aspects of it? Because
I think that would work okay. I don't know if that would be great. I think that's a good way to go about it, because they've gone like in so many different directions. I think that sounds like a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, and it seems like we need to stop focusing solely on fan service. It seems like a lot of video game movies, it's just like fan service, so they throw a whole bunch of references at you,
and
while avoiding a good
Pikachu. Like, I will say, if you don't know anything about Pokemon, like that movie's you're not going to know any more about Pokemon by the end of that movie.
You're not, and like you just really the main characters are like always the entry level. I mean, what is Monkey? What is it? Monkeyling or Monkey Chin? What is that monkey Pokemon?
Oh, Apom.
Apom, yes. Is he like a one of
Gen
the
2?
Yeah, but is he a starting? Like, can you get him?
Oh yeah, is he a starter?
He's not,
no,
Eevee. No. It's Eevee.
Eevee's only a starter in like the yellow version.
Not Eevee.
So what's do you remember the starters from Gen 2?
Oh, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Chikorita.
I couldn't think of Chikorita was the one I was thinking, and for some reason I said Eevee. But because I don't think even Apom is one that's that well known.
Yeah,
but there was a lot of Squirtle, Charmander, and
love in this. And then there was a lot of Bulbasaur love too, just like for one scene where they can
and not to the Squirtle squad,
there was no sunglasses.
No.
But okay. So that has been our review. So you said 3.5, 3 and 3. So we give we give a blowjob and we give a fuck and half a hand job to this movie.
So a sad hand job.
Half a hand job.
And half a hand job. You don't get to finish. It's very sad.
Yeah.
So that has been our review of John Wick Chapter 3,
one last
Parabellum.
thing,
Just relax.
We're getting there, buddy.
Just relax.
All right.
What are we doing? What are you fucking with this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you got a list?
What are you fucking with this week?
You guys were talking about it and teased it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Game of Thrones ended.
Oh
it's been a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I will say, okay, so I'm coming from it at it where like I like the series fine enough. I'm not really a fan. I haven't seen
any of them.
Majority of the episodes.
Haven't you just seen the first episode and the last episode?
The last episode.
So you are not a fan. Just say it. Don't say I'm not a big fan.
So
you are not a fan. You've only seen the first and last.
I'm a fan of the first episode.
Great. You didn't even see Sean Bean die.
Oh, I know he dies.
Well, you know he dies. That doesn't mean you've seen it.
The thing with this show is that it's like so much in our pop culture. Like I don't really feel you need to watch a majority of it to get what's going on. Like people talk about it all the time. So I got the basic plot and everything. And I will say, with this last episode, yeah, someone coming in just fresh, just want to see how they end this TV show. It is definitely rushed.
Don't do that. It's okay. Yeah.
Quinn, have you seen them all?
Yeah. No, I've read the books.
Seen them all.
Yeah, I know everything about the last season though, because I listened to a bunch of podcasts that talk about
better stuff I can still talk about.
Yeah, so do I.
This week.
So
Okay.
do I. Yes. So that's Game of Thrones. Fuck off. It's stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
so
dumb.
you wanted to
It was
talk
a
about
mistake.
that. I want to
No,
talk about
Wally
another.
Wally has other stuff
not
too.
fucking done,
Relax, Carl.
Okay.
Jesus. Put
So
your
on
dick
the other
away.
hand of
We know the devil's getting your dick at the end of this. Put it away. God. Okay, Wally, what are you talking about?
So on the cartoon side of things, another show that's coming out. It's coming out on Adult Swim. It's a follow up to Samurai Jack. It's like a spiritual successor. It's called Primal. It has a caveman. It's done in a 2D style. It looks like it's going to be super brutal, but has the same like atmospheric storytelling of Samurai Jack, and it's by the same creator, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, it looks really freaking good. It looks like right up Wally's alley.
I watched that trailer so many fucking times.
Yeah, when you posted it on Facebook, like I'm just like, that's 100%. Like Wally's going to be obsessed.
It's 2D too. That was
Yeah.
like really the thing. I'm like, that's so cool that we can still get this crazy action in a hand-drawn way, because that takes forever to do.
Yeah.
That, man. So that's really crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So check that out. Primal, Cartoon Network, correct?
Yeah, coming out this fall.
This
so,
fall,
yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So guys, check it out. We'll probably be talking about it around when it comes out. That'll probably be another one that we talk about in a couple of months. So.
All right. So that's the
Carl.
good and bad from me. Carl,
Okay,
what
Carl.
do you got?
That's what he's fucking with this
Okay.
week.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the shows that you talked about ended this last week. One of the shows that I absolutely loved also ended this last week.
Power Rangers?
No, The Big Bang Theory. They had
It
their
ended?
series finale. Yes.
Finally.
Oh my god.
After 13 seasons.
Were
it
people
finally ended.
satisfied with it, or are they like just as mad as Game of
I have
Thrones?
not
fans?
heard anything about it.
Yeah.
So I must
Game of
have gone.
Thrones
I
just
have
kinda, like,
watched
steamrolled
every
this.
episode
Mhm.
of this series.
13
and-
seasons, dude.
Dude,
Yes.
the elevator finally works. Spoiler alert.
It
They
does.
finally get in the elevator at the end with their suitcases. This is
Is
all
that just how
I've
it
just
is?
seen a still
Yeah.
of them going
Oh,
into it.
okay.
That's the only thing I've seen about this. So
Yeah,
go
give
ahead.
us a quick
but
rundown.
I was-
Spoilers.
I was satisfied with it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Does it like lead it up for like more spin-offs, or it's like, yeah, this is it?
Well, they already
I
have the
think-
one spinoff.
Yeah, they,
Young
Sheldon.
they already have the
Young
one.
Sheldon.
Is that still
Young
going?
Sheldon. Yep.
Because that's super it's Chuck Lorre, man. Can't go wrong, I guess.
They've talked about possibly doing another spin-off of it. I don't know if they're gonna greenlight it or not. It would
What-
be like Leonard and Penny, continue Big Bang spin-off. I
That's-
don't know.
Let me just say, I
'cause
don't
that's-
know any of these characters besides what Sheldon, the
Sheldon's-
Bazinga guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's all I know
Yeah.
from that show.
But okay, so give us a brief synopsis. So like I know like we've had a lot of stuff in this season just like building up towards this end. Like there's been a lot of change. Like I've only ever seen the one where what is it? Who gets married? Did
What, Howard and Bernadette?
I've seen that one. Are they the only ones that get married? I thought
No, Leonard and Penny get married.
they got married this season, right?
No, they got
Does
married a couple
Sheldon
of
get
seasons
married?
ago. I think they got married around
Couple of
season.
seasons. Oh yeah,
season
Sheldon
10,
lost
I
his
think.
virginity too.
Yep. It's
Um,
Amy.
yeah.
And they also got
They
married.
got married. Yep.
Yep. So Raj is the only one that's
Raj
not
married
married.
his sister.
No.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. No. So yeah. What happened in this episode?
So it was an hour-long series finale. Basically two episodes.
That's an hour.
So, Amy and Sheldon finally get told that they won the Nobel Prize with their theory.
Oh,
Okay.
So then they take their friends to the ceremony, which is in, I believe, Switzerland.
Yep.
And there they get everybody gets pissed off at Sheldon.
Wow, what a
obviously.
surprise.
So he ended up with no
So-
friends.
Yeah,
What
but
ending.
he kills himself at the end of the series.
Because
Wow.
Sheldon is so self-centered,
Oh, okay.
and he learns that Bernadette and Howard want to go back home because of Stuart is babysitting their kids, and they're worried about their kids.
What is Stuart, a pedophile or something?
No,
Yes.
no, Stuart's not the greatest babysitter.
Okay.
Lauren
Because he's a
Lapkus
pedophile.
is like,
He finds out that Penny and Leonard are expecting a baby,
Okay.
and just blows that over. And so it basically leads to his acceptance speech, apologizing and recognizing that he is self-centered.
It took him 13 seasons to realize he's a dick. Right.
Pretty much. I mean, he's very smart, but he's not.
So he's
got
the Daenerys
Yeah.
of the Big Bang-verse.
no, because Daenerys never admitted that she was a monster.
That's true. And
She just died.
that part was so funny, dude. She just fucking dies, the dragon cries, burns the chair,
And then flies the fuck away.
And then we cut to like 5 weeks later. I'm like, they rushed the hell out of that. And I understand
We're
why
back
people
to
are
Game of
pissed.
Thrones.
Yeah.
Yep.
It all ties in.
It all ties in. Daenerys is the Sheldon of the Game of Thrones universe.
Game of Thrones reverse, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Carl. So, did you cry?
I almost did.
Yeah?
I almost did. I was on the verge, but I didn't.
Okay. Wow.
Was it at the speech?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was also one cameo that I absolutely loved.
Was it Stanley for the last time?
No. It was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I don't even know
Okay.
that actress.
Oh, yes.
I just
Sarah something.
I keep blanking and thinking of Veronica Mars with what's her name? The girl from why am I she's married to Dak Shepard.
Yeah, I don't know
What?
you're talking about.
Kristen Bell. That's right. Yeah. You guys don't know who Kirsten Bell is?
No, I know who she is.
Okay.
I'm
Veronica
I
Mars
never
is like
watched
his
Veronica
old, yeah.
Mars.
It was like about the same
I've heard
time.
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, about the same time, but
Are you
I just
fucking
can't.
with
Yes.
anything else, Carl?
Yes.
Because I'll give
I
guess
bought a
we're
new
doing
Switch
two.
game. I
Nice.
actually bought a new Switch game.
Finally.
Finally.
Christ, what you get?
Saints Row 3.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's right. That came out for that.
The
Yep.
That's fun.
third. Oh, that's
Yeah.
such
That's
a
the
good
best.
one.
It's the
so
best one
good.
out of all the Saints Rows.
Yeah, because that's with Burt
Okay.
Reynolds as the
I
president or the mayor.
I think he's the mayor.
Keith David's like the vice president, or is that in the fourth one?
I don't know. I didn't
Okay.
play the fourth one. I just
But,
know in the third it's Burt Reynolds
It's
as.
I think it's the first time that I've bought a game on one system,
Oh,
but then
you
also
you
bought it on
double dipped.
another
There
system.
you go, buddy.
I double dipped.
Double
Yes.
dipped.
See, I played the hell out of that game, and by the end, I'm like, I don't need to play this ever again. I don't need to play any of them. They're not. Yeah, good on you
Doesn't
for
have
liking
good
them.
like replay value.
No,
no.
it's
Okay.
just like it's
Well, you
GTA.
can just run
with
around
crazy-
naked with a giant like dildo.
It's a
weapon,
wacky
right?
version of
Yeah,
GTA.
how long
yeah.
are you gonna do that, Wally? How long are you gonna run around with a giant dildo weapon butt naked?
Infinitely.
Infinite.
Are you kidding me? I'm gonna be throwing farting jars.
God, okay, Carl. Like I get so bored with that shtick shit all the time.
Yeah, it's fun every now and then. Though.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Well, so what I'm fucking with this week, I just got a new drone. Big
Yeah.
surprise. Yeah.
That
so.
is a surprise. I don't
Well,
think you
yeah,
ever
so
mentioned
we're-
drones on the
Yeah,
podcast.
I haven't mentioned my drone. I have a
The
bigger
drone
one.
fetish.
I have a bigger one, but I really want to take it to Ireland because we are going to Ireland in October. And I really wanted one that could fit into a carry-on because you need to put lithium batteries in your carry-on or else you get fucked up by the FAA. So I'm gonna plug DJI or DJI.
Please sponsor us.
Yeah, please sponsor us. We never talk about you. We aren't in your field, but you make great drones. You make great action cameras. New action
appreciate
camera. New gimbal setups just in general.
that's
I
cool.
also have my little gimbal for my camera. I have a DJI.
We should make more videos.
Yeah, we should, but we don't. That's just life. Then we have run a lot longer than I thought. I mean, we spent a lot of time.
One more
we did
thing,
get
though.
gifts. Carl
One
is
more.
a
No. One more thing.
Oh, God.
We gotta roll a D20 to see what
right.
rewind. Ryan is at the helm of the rewind this
Yep.
week,
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab my dice. I totally forgot about this. So
and I gotta pee.
Okay, well, he's got to pee, so I'm just gonna freestyle for a little bit, and then I'll run and grab it while he pees. But no. So what we decided is we made a list of 5. I think we all got 5 or 7
No,
or
we
so.
all got like 7, and I think
Yes. So,
one person got 6.
yeah. So we just did 20. We did 20 of our favorite movies, and now instead of just each person picks the movie they want to see, we decided to make it a little more interesting, and just, we'll roll a dice, and whoever's the pick is where it goes. So give me 1 second, Carl. You're gonna have to riff for like an hour and a half or so while it takes me to get my dice. So just be ready. Don't get on your phone, Carl. We can't just sit in silence for like 5 minutes.
What?
No, we can't.
Sitting in silence is not allowed.
Not on a podcast.
God damn it. Guys, I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk to you about. Okay, you know what? I'll talk to you guys about AEW, okay? Because I'm a wrestling fan, and today they had their event in Las Vegas that's called Double or Nothing. Bunch of up-and-coming independent wrestlers, plus a lot of former stars from WWE that signed with that brand. So not all of them are rookies. A lot of them are also very popular and well-known. Apparently, I was looking it up on my phone when you guys were complaining about me being on my phone, and it went really well.
Damn. So this is actually
This
legit...
event sold out in 5 minutes.
Well, yeah.
It's the fact.
Yeah, we are. Carl has just been going off the dome talking about wrestling. This has become the wrestling podcast, which is great.
Keep going, Carl.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to roll.
Oh.
So I'm going to see if I can get the cool roll noise, but I probably won't be able to. Shut the fuck up.
That's a drum roll.
19.
Oh,
which
shit, what-
is Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Awesome.
Okay, so then
Damn it.
now when we
So-
cross this movie off the list, is he gonna replace that with a new movie?
No, we just go down
We
until
go-
we're done with
yeah.
the list.
So then,
Until we're
if
done with the
somebody
list.
else rolls a 19, we just
just roll
re-roll
again.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
re-roll.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so guys, I don't know when we're gonna do this because next week we have Godzilla. Woo, woo,
Best
woo.
film of the year.
Best
Call me.
film.
Are we gonna do Aladdin too, or not?
Eventually,
Eventually.
No.
possibly.
No.
No.
Oh shit, dude! Wally's
I
just
mean,
making
maybe
a
we'll
bold,
do the
bold
original, like,
claim.
in like
That's what
5
I'd like
years
to. Well,
for a
what we
rewind.
should do, maybe we'll do this as like a double quadruple feature or something. Is when The Lion King
my
comes
God.
out, we will see. We will watch
cartoon
the
and-
cartoon of that and Aladdin and compare the two with the live actions
Boy,
if we have time.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Making
have
no
like
promises,
a
though,
4-hour
people are just
frickin'
No,
thinking
it's not
out
gonna be
loud.
it's just gonna be straight
Episode.
comparing. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
it'd be more
we'll do
comparing than, like, a
Godzilla.
straight-up episode.
We're gonna be doing Godzilla next week, and then we're gonna be doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So you know what, guys? It's been too long. We are.
Fuck off.
Oh god, the devil's
This
back.
was one hell of a time, you guys. I can't
You know
wait
what?
to
It
come
was
back
one
again
hell of a
and again
time,
and
but you
again
know
and
what?
again
The
and again.
devil
Fuck off.
has to just
You wanna
say,
buy some knives?
"Fuck off."
Fuck off.